There is a song that has become the unofficial anthem of the global church. It is sung by choirs and ensembles, at graduations and in cathedrals, in times of harvest and in times of hurt. And this week, it is sung at a funeral. When Richard Smallwood sat down to write Total Praise in 1996, he wasn't feeling victorious. He was totally empty. Most people think this is a song of triumph. It's actually a song of utter dependence and survival. Today, as we honor the homegoing of a legend, we are performing a deep dive exegesis into the theology of the valley. We are looking at Psalm 121, the mystery of the plagal cadence, and why the most powerful amen ever recorded was born out of a season of total exhaustion. This isn't just a tribute, it's a lesson in how to worship when you have nothing left. The origin, the theology of exhaustion. In his autobiography, Total Praise, Richard Smallwood reveals a staggering truth. He wrote this song while his mother and godmother were both battling terminal illnesses. He was their primary caregiver. He was drained, depressed, and watching the two most important women in his life fade away. Smallwood describes a moment of divine frustration. He told God, "I don't have a song. I have nothing." He was empty. He was broken. Notice the first word of the song, Lord. In the original Hebrew of the Psalms, when you see Lord in all caps, it refers to Yahweh, the covenant-keeping God who relates to us in our pain. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise, as David wrote in Psalm 51:17. Because he's the relational God, he will always respond in divine sufficiency, which means God is more than enough for all human needs, capacities, and circumstances, a concept emphasizing that God's presence, provision, and power exceed anything else needed, enabling us to find true satisfaction and capability through Him, not ourselves. It's the truth that God's strength is made perfect not in our efforts or our energy, but in our weakness, 2 Corinthians 12:9. Richard didn't write Total Praise because he felt like praising. He wrote it because he needed to praise to live, knowing his help can only come from Yahweh. It was a sacrifice of praise, the biblical concept from Hebrews 13:15. As every musician knows, a sacrifice always costs you something. The exegesis, lifting the eyes. Let's look at the text. The song is a direct bridge to Psalm 121. Lord, I will lift mine eyes to the hills. To the ancient pilgrim, the hills were a place of overwhelming questions. They were dangerous. They represented the looming challenges of grief and disorientation. Like that pilgrim, Richard Smallwood lifted his eyes to his own hills, the looming shadows of loss and depression. The pivot in Psalm 121 is the exact pivot of Total Praise. The answer to the crisis is not found in the hills of circumstance, but in the declaration, "My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." Smallwood's testimony reveals that the song was not born from a mountaintop of victory, but from the valley. In his anguish, he made a conscious, willful decision to fix his eyes not on the insurmountable hills, but on the transcendent Creator who stands above and beyond them. This is the heart of the lyric. Lord, I will lift mine eyes to the hills, knowing my help is coming from you. The resulting song, Total Praise, is not a celebration of the absence of hills, but a proclamation of trust in the midst of them. It is the musical embodiment of Psalm 121, verses 3-8, the keeping promise. The Hebrew word used in Psalm 121 for keep or preserve is shamar, and it's used 6 times in 8 verses. It means to hedge about or guard. From Smallwood's perspective, the song is 1, a defiant affirmation, Praise is not contingent on the removal of the hills, but directed to the God who keeps him steady while he journeys through them. 2. A shift in source. The help is recognized as coming from God alone, the maker of all, which relativizes the power of any immediate crisis. 3. The pilgrim's resolve. It captures the moment a weary traveler, staring at a dangerous climb, chooses to sing of the keeper's faithfulness before the path gets easier. The praise is total because it comes from a totality of experience, pain and faith, question and answer, the hill and the helper. In essence, total praise is the sound of Psalm 121, verses 1-2 being lived. It is the honest question of verse 1 met by the sovereign, creative answer of verse 2, erupting into a declaration of trust in the ever-wakeful keeper. The song is his testimony that when you lift your eyes from the hills to the maker of the hills, your song becomes one of total praise. Smallwood's melody reflects this beautifully. Notice how the notes climb. That is musical word painting. As the choir sings, "I will lift mine eyes," the melody physically ascends. The music is doing exactly what the soul is doing, striving to look above the circumstance. The Amen, the finality of God. Then we reach the ending, the legendary Amen. Musically, an Amen is traditionally a plagal cadence, a 4-to-1 chord progression. It is the sound of finality and rest. But Smallwood does something genius here. He modulates. He takes that Amen through multiple key changes, climbing higher and higher with every repetition. Why? Because the Amen of God is not a full stop, it is an escalation. In 2 Corinthians 1:20, we are told that all the promises of God are yes and amen. By stretching this cadence, Smallwood is illustrating that God's final word over your life is a persistent, rising chorus of agreement with his own goodness. Even when the song ends, the amen continues into eternity. This is why the song feels so heavy, yet so light. It's the sound of a man handing the amen of his life back to the God who gave it. I do these theological deep dives every week because I believe our worship should be as deep as our music is beautiful. If this breakdown gave you a new perspective today, I'd love for you to join this community. Subscribe and hit that like button. But more importantly, leave a comment. I want to learn from your journey too. Iron sharpens iron. Your insight will help me grow. I truly appreciate your support. The tribute, the architect's homegoing, the final farewell to Dr. Richard Smallwood is at hand. We realize he has finally moved from the hills of this world to the mountain of the Lord. He no longer has to lift his eyes to see his help. He is looking at his help face to face. Dr. Richard Smallwood stands as a foundational architect of modern worship, a maestro whose contributions transcend genre and sanctuary to reshape the very landscape of sacred and secular music. With a pioneering fusion of classical piano mastery, gospel's fervent soul, and contemporary stylings, he constructed a timeless sonic cathedral where millions have found refuge and exaltation. More than a composer of anthems like Total Praise and Center of My Joy, Smallwood was a prophet of lived experience, weaving profound theology and human vulnerability into a tapestry of sound that affirmed faith is wrestled in the valley as surely as it is celebrated on the mountaintop. He sang what he lived, his joy, his grief, his questions, and his unwavering trust, offering not performance, but testimony until his final breath. In doing so, this gentle legend gifted the global church a new vocabulary of praise, ensuring his legacy resonates not merely in chords and lyrics, but in the uplifted hearts of every generation that finds its own story sung within his holy, soul-stirring work. The greatest way you can honor his legacy is not just by playing his music, but by living his theology. Lift your eyes. That's where our help comes from.